छूकर मेरे मन को किया तूने क्या इशारा, बदला ये मौसम लगे प्यारा जग सारा। छूकर मेरे मन को किया तूने क्या इशारा, तू जो कहे जीवन भर तेरे लिए मैं गाऊं, तेरे लिए मैं गाऊं। गीत तेरे होठों पे लिखता चला जाऊं, लिखता चला जाऊं। मेरे गीतों में तुझे ढूंढे जग सारा, छूकर मेरे मन को किया तूने क्या इशारा, बदला ये मौसम लगे प्यारा जग सारा। छूकर मेरे मन को किया तूने क्या इशारा, आजा तेरा चल ये प्यार से मैं भर दूं, प्यार से मैं भर दूं। खुशियां जहां भर की तुझको नजर कर दूं, तुझको नजर कर दूं। तू ही मेरा जीवन, तू ही जीने का सहारा। छूकर मेरे मन को किया तूने क्या इशारा, बदला ये मौसम लगे प्यारा जग सारा। छूकर मेरे मन को किया तूने क्या इशारा, तू जो कहे जीवन भर तेरे लिए मैं गाऊं, तेरे लिए मैं गाऊं। गीत तेरे बोल के लिखता चला जाऊं, लिखता चला जाऊं। तू ही मेरा जीवन, तू ही जीने का सहारा। छूकर मेरे मन को किया तूने क्या इशारा, बदला ये मौसम लगे प्यारा जग सारा। छूकर मेरे मन को किया तूने क्या इशारा।
Thank you so much, Rohan. Thank you so much. Rohan Rajore is an entrepreneur and an Art of Living trainer as well. He focuses on teaching the Art of Living programs for the youth. Thank you, Rohan, for that beautiful music rendition. Thank you.
Thank
and
you,
to all of you, thank you. And to all of you out there, welcome to the Art of Living Children and Teens Facebook Live. Today we have the session called Doctors Speak. The doctors have been our warriors during these times. They have always supported us in all phases of our lives. But tribute to all the doctors who are out there putting themselves at risk, so much at risk, not only from the virus, but also of, exertion and strain. We say namaste and honor you all in our hearts. Thank you to all the doctors out there. I would like to welcome Dr. Ashwin Pandit, who is also a surgical oncologist. Welcome, Dr. Ashwin.
Namaste.
He will be, namaste. He will be the moderator along with me on this program. Over to you, Dr. Ashwin.
Hi, everyone. And I'm Dr. Ashwin, and I'm a surgical oncology student. And we have done so many panel discussions, and I'm so excited about this panel discussion because it's such a diverse panel discussion. We have a neurologist, we have a cardiac surgeon, we have a gynecologist, and I'm really looking forward to this discussion because there are so many doubts in the parents' minds. There's so many doubts which I have as a father, which I would like to clarify. So just looking forward for this session. Thank you,
Yes,
Gauriji.
absolutely, Dr. Ashwin. There are so many do's and don'ts floating all over. There are advices here, there are advices there, and we don't know what to actually follow. But now let us hear from the experts who have come, who have agreed to come despite their busy schedule. I would like to first of all welcome Dr. Mohit Sharma, pediatric cardiac surgeon. Now he does surgery on adults also. Dr. Mohit Sharma, very happy to have you with us. Namaste and welcome.
Hello everyone and namaste.
We would like to hear a few words about yourself from you, Dr. Mohit.
Myself Dr. Mohit Sharma, and at present I am working as an assistant professor in Department of Cardiac Surgery, SMS Medical College, Jaipur, Rajasthan. And formerly I have also worked in pediatric cardiac surgery in the Department of Cardiac Surgery, Fortis Escort Hospital, Jaipur. And since 2018, I am also teaching Art of Living Happiness program and online courses of Art of Living Yoga also. And I would definitely like to talk with all of you, with the parents of teens and children's, and related to the health of teens and children's, definitely.
And related to the heart as well, doctor.
Yeah, definitely. Heart is my favorite subject, and I'm treating that thing.
Thank you, doctor. I'm so happy to have you with us. Next,
Yeah.
I would like to invite Dr. Ravi. He is a neurologist. He has studied with NIMHANS and right now running his own hospital in Kerala, Malappuram. Dr. Ravi, welcome to the program.
Hi. Good morning. Welcome you all to this show. I'm Dr. Ravi. I graduated from Calicut Medical College, MBBS and MBA from Calicut Medical College. I took DM Neurology from NIMHANS. I'm an Art of Living teacher as well since 2014. Currently, I am working in Kerala, Malappuram district, Perinthal.
Welcome to the program, doctor. We have a lot of questions lined up for you, especially related to children, their nervous system. What will help them study better? Are gadgets interfering with the brain? All these questions all lined up for you, doctor. Welcome to the program. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite a very, very crucial person in all our lives, Dr. Anita Chaudhary. She is a leading gynecologist, and most importantly, she is also an expert in Garbh Sanskar. We believe that happy mothers give birth to happy children. Welcome, Dr. Anita Chaudhary, to this program.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I was practicing gynecology for the last 21 years. And then I realized there was something which was missing. Everybody was taking care of the physical health. Then I realized our children need much more than that. And once I realized the Ayurveda way of
I think we have lost doctor. Okay, we'll wait for Dr. Anita to come back to us. Shall we start with the questions, Dr. Ashwin?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's a great pleasure to be with all of you here today. So I would like to start with Mohit sir. When we talk of health in children and in teens. So my question is, as a cardiologist, cardiac problems are very common in adults, but are they so common even in children? This is one of the questions which every one of us has in our minds.
Yes, definitely. First, we have to identify what exactly health is. Health comprises 4 parameters. Number 1 is physical, number 2 is mental, number 3 is social, and number 4 is spiritual. According to WHO, the health defines as physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. Merely absence of the disease is known as health. Now, we can come to the cardiac perspective, as I am a cardiac surgeon, and cardiac perspective related to the teens and children. There are, if we classify in broad aspect, there are 2 types of cardiac diseases. In whether adult or children doesn't matter. two types of cardiac disease. First of all, first one is congenital cardiac diseases that are by born, and the second one is acquired cardiac diseases. The acquired cardiac diseases are related to their lifestyles, and during this era what we are living. One example I can give: if a person is wearing sweater in a summer season, and if a person is wearing banyan in winter season, what you will say? You will say just, "Are you mad?" Exactly, we are doing the same thing, but nobody is there to say us mad. And exactly, we are not living the real system of health. That's why we need uh, accuracy and accurate intervention at the time of children, at the time of that specific age group. We have to intervene in this system.
Okay, so uh, early intervention, right from the childhood, the
Yes, yes,
lifestyle
yes.
changes can prevent acquired heart diseases.
Definitely, yes. Acquired heart
Okay.
disease. If you are just, you can see so many obese childrens in your society, obese as well as malnourished. What are these things? These diseases are directly related to their acquired system. And from where they acquire this thing? They are acquiring this thing from their, number one, their parents, and number two is the society. So the parents and society are equally responsible for the cardiac diseases in teens and children, as well as in themselves also. So we have to intervene. My perspective, especially, what I want to say is, this yoga and everything which is related to their lifestyle should be added to the school curriculum, because if the seed is good, then definitely tree will be the example of good, you can say.
Yeah, agreed. Now, I was just curious, like
Yeah.
how early lifestyle changes can alter the acquired heart diseases. Does
If
yoga also have
Oh,
a
yes.
role in those with congenital heart diseases, like the sequelae of
No.
congenital heart disease, like pulmonary artery hypertension and all? Can they be avoided by doing some uh, lifestyle changes?
Congenital heart disease is because of by birth. If a person is having six fingers in the hand, it won't be changed by yoga. But if you are doing the surgery, and after surgery, if a person who is practicing yoga can live a better life,
Hmm.
if a person or if a child is having a congenital cardiac disease like tetralogy of Fallot, and we are operating the tetralogy of Fallot, or we are operating any patient who was having earlier VSD, ventricular septal defect, you can say dil mein ched. If we are operating a patient of dil mein ched and having high pulmonary arterial hypertension, after surgery, if the person or the child is doing yoga and practicing yoga and Sudarshan Kriya, definitely there is a great effect on pulmonary arterial hypertension. It can lower down after doing the yoga, pranayam, and the breathing exercises. So there is a very important role of yoga, pranayam, and Sudarshan Kriya in acquired heart disease as well as operated congenital cardiac diseases.
Yeah, because
I have a, oh, sorry, Dr. Ashwin, please.
Yeah.
just to continue the discussion, actually, after surgeries, which we do, which we usually perform most of the surgeries on the abdomen, and many patients come out very well when they start doing breathing exercises immediately after the surgery, when they start doing breathing exercise before the surgery as well. The outcomes are really good. We can avoid so many complications. So that is how this question came to me. That as you
Exactly.
rightly said, after surgery for congenital heart diseases, definitely this breathing techniques
I want
will.
to give one example also. If a person with ASD or VSD, means atrial septal defect or ventricular septal defect with a high PA or borderline PA, if that kid or that person after the age of 16, few patients came to you, few patients usually come to you after the age of even 20 year or 25 year. These kind of congenital diseases we can deal with adult also. If a patient in the age of 25 or 30 comes to you with the complaint of high pulmonary arterial hypertension with ASD, VSD, and you are prescribing him Sudarshan Kriya as a part of treatment, it will definitely good for them, because if a person with high PA doing yoga, then the PA will be lower. Your surgical quality as well as the surgical outcome will definitely better, if the person is not doing yoga. And one research paper is also published related to this. If you just Google related to hypertension, heart rate, bradyarrhythmia, tachyarrhythmia, blood pressure related to Sudarshan Kriya. And we did this research paper with the collaboration of Rajasthan University of Health Sciences in 2009.
Okay. So,
You
Gauri,
want to ask?
about
Yeah.
That is a lot of information, and I did not for a fact know that pre and post surgery breathing exercises, pranayam, and the Sudarshana Kriya can have such an impact. Thank you, Dr.
Yes.
Mohit, for enlightening us on that. My question was, during teenage or early adulthood, even after, but we have something called a heartbreak, right?
Yeah.
We fall in love or we give ourselves to somebody, emotionally, mentally, and then we have a heartbreak. How do we deal with this? Or is it really a heartbreak in medical terms?
No, there are relatively less chance of heart attack in children's, but yes, there can be. But your question that related to heartbreak can be considered as a heart attack? No, there is no relation. But if a teenager or a child age group is having so many heartbreaks till the age of adolescent or adult age, then definitely he or she is prone for the cardiac disease. That's why the role of yogic exercises and yogic practices are needed to the teenagers. What I said earlier in my initial talk, I started with this, that in the age of child age group or a teenager group, if they are doing yoga, then there will be less incidence of heartbreak. And if there is less incidence of heartbreak, definitely they won't probably related to their heart attack also. आप देखोगे जो भी हार्ट अटैक के पेशेंट्स हैं उनका हिस्ट्री ले हो आप, you just take the history, definitely there are so many heartbreaks in their life related to their profession, related to their relationships, related to their working environment. So if a person started doing yogic practices in their early lifestyle, in fact I prescribe सूर्य नमस्कार after the age of 12 or 13. मैं बोलता हूँ जिनको सूर्य नमस्कार जो बच्चे करते हैं उनको आंखों पे चश्मा कभी नहीं होता.
Wow.
You can see me. I have no specs and my eyesight is 6/6 after the age of 40 even. I am 40 plus. That's why these things are needed in the pediatric age group. And the most important thing is we can add these things in a daily curriculum of the school system. वहीं से वो बीज आएगा. तो इसके लिए we all have to sit together and work together.
Okay. Very nicely put, sir.
Yeah.
Gauriji, I think you are on mute.
Yeah.
So the practice of pranayam, breathing exercises, Sudarshana Kriya lead to strengthening the mental, the mental ability of the child, the ability to handle emotions. So now it's good to know that this also helps in strengthening the physical heart as well.
Obviously, in the starting, I just define the health in 4 parameters. Number 1 is physical, number 2 is mental, number 3 is social, and number 4 is spiritual. It is according to WHO, and WHO added mental health specifically in the year of 2017 because so many patients, in fact, in every 3, 1 person is suffering from depression. Why depression is there? Because till the age of 30, nobody tells him that how you can combat with the stress, how you can combat with the adverse lifestyle. I have just given an example. If a person is wearing sweater in summer season, what will you tell? बेवकूफ है क्या? और हम सब तो वही कर रहे हैं, लेकिन कोई कहने वाला ही नहीं है कि अरे बेवकूफ तुम्हारा लाइफस्टाइल कैसा है. In the teenage group, in a pediatric age group, if somebody just point out the things, you must have very strong mental system, you must have a strong physical system, very strong social and spiritual system. It will make you a complete healthy person, and a complete healthy person at the age of 16 will definitely can live better than a person who is starting yoga in the age of 30s or 40s.
That's a great guidance from you, Dr. Mohit. Dr. Ashwin, shall we
Yeah.
move on to Dr. Ravi?
Yes, yes. As Mohit sir was rightly saying that health is includes physical well-being, mental well-being, spiritual and social. So coming to the mental aspect, stress is something that we relate to only with adults, and children are usually known to be bubbling with enthusiasm. They're usually known to be stress-free. They are known to be happy children. Is stress so common amongst children, Ravi sir? I would like to ask you.
Yeah, of course, stress affects everybody, including children also, because the problems are part of life, and it is your ability to handle the problems decides whether you are stress-free or not. As Vivekananda once said, if you don't see any obstacle in the path of your life, probably you are in a wrong path. So the stress is there for everybody, but most often what happens is children may not be knowing that the complex emotional situation they are facing, their experiences is stress. And the parents also fail to recognize that the child is under stress. And unlike the adult, the children may not present with the typical stress features. And it is known as somatoform disorder or somatization syndrome. They will present with various body symptoms. Sometimes they present with the headache, giddiness, tiredness, lethargy. Sometimes they may fall just like a fits or epilepsy. So various these body symptoms, their stress is expressed as various body symptoms. It is known as somatization syndrome or somatoform disorder. But you should be very careful to see such. There will be underlying stress to cause all these symptoms. Sometimes the patient presenting with you with a long-standing headache, it is not getting correctable with any medicines. Then the primary cause will be stress. The stress is manifesting as headache. Okay, so that is the most difficult part. Sometimes we may fail to recognize the stress as underlying cause of the body symptoms. And of course, they can present with disturbed sleep, bedwetting, and they can have behavioral problems also. They may be withdrawn, they may be aggressive with their friends. All these can be also manifestations of stress. So stress is very common in children as well.
Oh, that's a very good thing actually. That many children do not know that they are under stress, and parents also fail to recognize. So these are a few tips. If your child is having long-standing headache, sleeplessness, then I think it's a sign of stress, and we need to identify that. That's a very good thing that you have told us, sir. Now, my question is this: does watching screen for a long time or sitting at one particular place for a long time, limited physical activity, what could be that impact of these things on the child's brain?
Yeah, previously in our childhood days, we used to go out and play. Nowadays, the scenario has changed. Everybody is sitting in front of the computer or laptop or the TV. They are watching all the time with the movies and other things. This is not a screen time. If the screen time is very long, it affects the mental outlook of the patient, outlook of the child. And they will be more obese because of the lack of activity, and they will be more aggressive. They start playing the video games with lots of fights. They will have that criminal tendency also. They will have aggressive behavior, and they will lose that compassion, that divine qualities of a child: compassion, love, and acceptance and enthusiasm. They will lose all these good qualities. They will come up with all these negative qualities, aggression and criminal tendencies. All these these kids can develop all these symptoms. So in the maximum, probably it may be 1 hour or 2 maximum, a child can be allowed to sit in front of a TV or computer.
This is very shocking to know that these video games, which we as parents may be gifting it to our children, as something like they would really be passionate about. So this is something very shocking, Dr. Ravi.
Yeah.
But is there anything that can ease this mental stress, or that the children losing out on their qualities, the innate nature of being good, compassionate, caring, like you said? Is there anything that can bring them back?
Sure. And you should understand why the children get stressed, because most of the preschool children, they will get stressed because of the separation anxiety from the parents. And in school days, they will get stressed because of their academic pressure and peer pressure. And there will be disharmony in the family also. If the husband and wife is all the time quarreling, the kids will get affected. And ideally, the husband and the parent should be the role model for the kids. And if they start fighting, and if the father is not respecting the woman, and then the kids all learn from their parents. So if the disharmony in the family itself is a big cause for the stress. So also any death or illness in the family can cause stress of the kid. And nowadays the excessive media consumption, and the children hear the news of these natural calamities, epidemics, war, etc. Nowadays, everybody is fear about corona disease. So all these negative news worry themselves, and they are very much worried about their safety as well as the safety of their family. So this excessive media consumption, always the kids are bombarded with the negative news. This will disrupt their nervous system. So you should recognize what are the main causes of these problems, and there are so many. You can identify the problem, and you should be able to correct that. And for that, first of all, the proper rest is a must for any kid. They should be able to play at least all the time. From the school, there will be so much of compulsion. From the parents, will be all the time. You will be telling study. Don't waste time like that. So no, they should be getting enough rest for themselves, and of course, good nutrition. And third one, I just told, it is good parenting. The parents should be a role model for them. And these various yoga, exercise, relaxation techniques, breathing techniques, and all will help them to reduce their stress.
I think now, going from what Dr. Mohit said and Dr. Ravi said, parents really do play a pivotal role in the child's development. It is not just bringing them to the to the planet and providing for them, but there is so much more. Now, going to parenting, I would like to, if with Dr. Ashwin's consent, I would like to go to Dr. Anita Chaudhary, who is a gynecologist and who brings babies to this planet. Yes, Dr. Ashwin, shall we proceed to Dr. Anita?
Yes. I hope we can again come back to Ravi sir and Mohit sir.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are a few questions I would like to ask them, but later on I would do that. Yes, so, Dr. Anita madam, my question was that what is this happy mother, happy child concept? Like, since ages in India, we have been said that when you are pregnant, take good care of the mother, feed her well, usko khush rakho, usko khush rakhenge to aapki santan bhi utni hi khush hogi. So this concept has been there since a long time. So what are your comments on this concept?
In my practice, I noticed one thing. Whenever the patient was pregnant and she came to me, she was stressed from day one. Oh my God, I'm pregnant. So instead of being happy, she was so stressed. So then I realized that this stressed mother would obviously deliver a stressed baby. And then I started these Garbh Sanskar classes. I started teaching her breathing, meditation, how to eat well. This generation, they just Google and they are thinking only about physical health, what to eat. And they have this notion that I'm pregnant, so I'm not supposed to do any work. So they become lazy. Lazy mothers will deliver lazy babies. So what we sow, so shall we reap. So the problem started from that conception. Stressed mother, stressed child, That is why we have so many stressed children, and 70% of brain development is happening in utero. So that is the time, if you're not taking care about the emotional health of the baby, once the child grows up, it will invariably have so many physiological and psychological issues besides having other diseases. And one simple thing, stress is inevitable in today's age, but how to cope up? I personally feel it is the parents. In fact, before conception, this thing should start. We have a very Vedic method of having babies. We lost all that. That is why these issues came up. So before conception, there are certain things that we need to follow. Imagine when we go and buy some potatoes, maybe which are 20 rupees a kg, we are so selective. And when we want a baby, there's no planning. So planning should be before conception. And we should ask for a divine soul to come in our uterus. When we nurture this child from day one of conception till delivery, post-delivery, it will happen. But how will it happen? See, as a parent, if I want my child to be intelligent, I must be playing some intelligent games. If I want my child to be spiritual, I should be reading the Bhagavad Gita and other religious books. If I want my child to... So whatever qualities we as parents imbibe, the same things will get transferred to our babies. What kind of music we hear, what kind of people we associate with. Children are like monkeys. They're just observing and they copy everything. If I'm stressed, my child will obviously be stressed. You will see mother is this and they'll copy. So whatever I do, my child is copying. So the stress has to be controlled from the in utero. There are so many diseases which can be controlled at the fetal level just by simple thoughts, just by positive attitudes. And who is to blame for the stress of children? We as parents. I remember in school we always have that lemon and spoon race. I'm sure you remember that.
Yes.
Yeah. That day what we were told by our parents, jaake achhe se bhagna, first aana. We didn't know what coming first was, but that day, that seed was sown in us that coming first is something very good in life. People are going to clap, you're going to get a prize. But I learned a lesson very early in life. I always told my kids, please never come first in class, because I have seen the toppers of classes burning out. It is a tough world. There is competition. You have to excel. I'm not saying that you don't have to do well, but there should be no phobia of coming first, because once you come first, you want to retain that position. And that is exactly what our youth is going through. Our small little children, if they don't come first in class, they feel so bad, I did not come first. So what? Not everybody is going to get marks. We are assessing our children only by the exams that they are giving. Not done. A holistic development is so important. If everybody was good at studies, we wouldn't have had Tendulkar. We wouldn't have had so many top class players. So just don't rank your children on the basis of exams. Make him a good human being. That is more important. If he is good, everything good will happen. And first, parents have to become good. Only then, you can't talk. You have to walk your talk.
Absolutely.
That's so well said. We have to focus on training our children on putting efforts rather than getting results.
Exactly. If I do exercise, my children will exercise. If I meditate, my children will meditate. I've been meditating for the last 15 years. And my children also do meditate. My eldest one was very smart. Whenever she had exams, she said, I have to meditate now and go so that I remember everything in exams. So if you sow the seed, they know how to. The generation is very smart. They are 10 steps ahead of us.
Absolutely.
So before this session, what I had done was I had told a few of my friends that I'll be talking to all of you, and do you have some questions? So most of the questions have been covered. One question which came up was that nowadays many girls have got menstrual irregularities and early menarche and all.
Yes.
So does stress play a role in all this, or what do you think is the reason?
Definitely. Stress and sleep patterns are so responsible for our health. We are not even talking about sleep. We are just talking about food and other things. physical exercise is so important. The sleep patterns are so important. PCOS is a new disease. It is a disease of the last few years. When we were in college, this disease didn't even exist. So polycystic ovarian syndrome, it is not a disease. It is a syndrome which involves so many organs. It is basically a lifestyle disease. And we can control this just by our lifestyle changes. There's no cure to PCOS. It is only lifestyle changes. And early menarche also is due to hormonal imbalance, stress-induced. Children are over-informed. A small little child knows so many things, which he shouldn't be knowing at that age. And the stress, I said, the lemon and spoon stress. So we told our children, and when they were growing up, we gave them a laptop, or we told them to sit in front of the TV so that we could feed them. Or we wanted to do something, we wanted a chit chat with our friends, we didn't want any disturbance. So we handed over the mobile to them, or we switched on the TV and told them, sit and watch cartoon. We made them addicts. They didn't know what to do. I have one family friend, they're also doctors, and their daughter was 6-year-old, and she didn't know anything about technology. She never had even a sip of cold drinks. She didn't know how Maggie tasted because her parents were very aware about that. So I tell my pregnant patients, after they deliver, first, after Annaprashan, those 6 months, whatever you feed your child, the child will develop those taste buds and they will eat healthy all their life. That is the time. Don't give them Maggie, don't give them cold drinks. They will never develop a taste for that. So we have to be aware. As parents, it is our responsibility. These children are just buds. We have to let them bloom. And we have to give them the right kind of environment. No pesticides. See, stress can kill. What we need to do is we need to make the roots very strong of our children and give them wings to fly. That is important. One day they will have their own world. But if we have given them good values, good culture, it will stay.
Yeah. I have one more question. Mood swings is something which nowadays youth is suffering from. And is it we see it more in the female or more in the girls. So
Yes.
is it just because of the hormones, or can we do something about it for these mood swings? It's I see many of my female friends saying that having mood swings is so common in females, and it seems to be all right to have those mood swings. So, what would you suggest to have keep the mood swings in check?
Girls have slightly more stress level. One is the reason that they talk about it. Boys normally don't talk about it. And the stress levels of teenagers have been going up. It was like 5% in 2003. Then 2012, it became 8.4%. And it's another 8 years now. I think it would be somewhere around 12 to 13%. So that is increasing. Girls do show more signs because they're more emotional. That is our social conditioning. Boys from the beginning, they hide their emotions, but they definitely have. That is why we find more drug addicts and more alcohol and smoking issues in boys, because they're not sharing things. Girls do express, so that is why we get those statistics. I feel it's the same.
Okay. So speaking of the mood, I think we have something to just lighten the mood here. What do you say, Gauriji?
Yes, I was actually, getting really into the conversation. I was about to ask Dr. Ravi when Dr. Anita mentioned about drugs and alcohol. I know everybody knows about drugs, substance abuse, drinking alcohol, getting addicted. But can I ask Dr. Ravi to share in maybe a few words how it impacts and how it can numb a person?
The people usually get addicted to drugs and alcohol because of their stress only. To get rid of the stress, they start using these drugs. Now, after some time, what happens is it will not give any pleasure, but without that, they will not have comfort. Mm-hmm. So, to start with, the drugs and alcohol give some pleasure to forget their sorrows and miseries. But sometimes after on long use, what happens is they will not get any pleasure because of taking alcohol or drug, but they will, because of their withdrawal, if they don't get the drugs, they will have withdrawal problems.
Yes.
Okay, so instead of these drugs and alcohol to relieve the stress, we have the better modalities of pranayama, meditation, and all these techniques to relieve their stress.
Now, as we have raised the topic, everyone knows that nowadays more and more teens are taking to smoking and alcohol. I would like Mohit sir to please add his comments on the effects of smoking on the heart.
Oh, definitely, yes. Effect of smoking or any sort of, so many things are available in market: tobacco, smoking, alcohol. All these things are negative impact on their cardiovascular system. First thing we have to remind that human beings are the only creature on this earth who are having best part of cardiovascular system as well as best part of nervous system. I think everybody's agree with my this thing, human beings are the only creature on this planet. I can say on this planet because I know only about this planet. Best nervous system and best cardiovascular system. And what we are doing, we are destroying our nervous system by stress, and as well as we are destroying our cardiovascular system by stress or by so many virtues we are having in this society. Now, the most important part I want to say is, अगर नशा ही पकड़ना है तो कुछ ऐसा नशा पकड़ो कि जो छूटे ही नहीं. And the best part of nasha is, if you are doing meditation, maybe you are not familiar with the meditation, but once you started doing meditation, I guarantee you, इससे बड़ा नशा नहीं है कुछ भी. And meditation can improvise your mental status as well as your physical status. So, what I think, what I am is a reflection of my parents. Simple. What I am is a reflection of my parents, and what my practice being a doctor is a reflection of my teacher from I learned practicing cardiac surgery. तो पेरेंट्स के लिए ये इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है कि है ना, अगर आपको अपने बच्चे को थोड़ा सा भी मॉडिफाइड फॉर्म में देखना चाहते हो तो आप करना शुरू कर दो. अभी अनीता मैडम ने बताया ही कि पेरेंटिंग इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. दैट्स व्हाई द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट करेक्शन शुड बी when a couple is going to produce a child and want to have a child, they should practice these things. They want the same thing in their child. It's very simple phenomena. There is a term, learned behavior. This is term used in psychiatry. What exactly learned behavior is? My learned behavior will definitely copy of my parents. Simply what my social phenomena, what my personal talking is exactly copy of my father, and what my knowledge may be copy of my mother. If your mother is reading Bhagavad Gita and scriptures of ancient knowledge, then definitely you will get some ancient knowledge automatically. And exactly your social behavior is copy of your father. So most important part, relieving in stress, parents should be anti-stress, number one. And number two, if you just see there is any sort of smoking, alcohol, or any sort of drug addiction in your child, immediately first accept there is something problem. If you are not accepting, there will definitely be a conflict. Parents उसको डांटेंगे तो वो हमेशा उसका उल्टा ही करने वाला है. So better to accept your child is on a wrong track, number one. Number two, if your child is on wrong track, just go for a short break with the Art of Living teacher, or have an appointment and have a date with the Art of Living teacher with your children. उसको जबरदस्ती नहीं धक्का देना है. जबरदस्ती तो उल्टा चलेगा आपका बच्चा. उसको प्रेम से उसको बोलो कि ऐसे ही है, एक नशे की अच्छी सी जगह है, चल तुझे लेके चलते हैं. एक बढ़िया बार हमने खोजी है, वहां पे है ना डांस भी होता है अच्छे अच्छे म्यूजिक पे, एंड यू विल सी अमेजिंग चेंज इन योर चाइल्ड इफ यू रियली वांट टू सी. अगर आप अपने बच्चे में चेंज देखना चाहते हैं डेफिनेटली उसको ऐसी जगह पर लेके जाओ जहाँ नशा कभी खत्म ही ना हो, तो डेफिनेटली यू विल फाइंड अ ग्रेट प्लेजर छोटे मोटे नशों से बहुत दूर. That's what I want to say.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, coming to, as we had earlier discussed, that if the mother is happy, then the child will also be happy. So, Anita madam, I would like to ask you, can yoga be performed by pregnant women?
Oh yes, we have specific yogas for pregnant women. I take those classes and I've got excellent results in normal delivery. Because everybody wants a normal delivery, but it's become a challenge because patients are so stressed. They actually come and say, I will not be able to bear the labor pains, please operate. So that way I've seen so many cesarean cases increasing. But I personally have excellent results because my patients, they become my friends. I tell them, "Tu meri dost ho," and they really believe that. And we have such a beautiful bonding of 9 months and then post delivery and then the next baby. So at least a 5 years bond is there. Besides parents, even teachers play a very important role in our children's life. Teachers also need to be stress free in school. So we do have lots of programs, and these are there are so many parents, especially the mothers who are working, who are teachers in school. See, one thing, remember, whatever we have, we can only give that. If I have 10,000 rupees and you ask me for 10,000 rupees, I can give it to you only if I have it. So if I have happiness, if I have peace of mind, only that I can give you. So it is very, very important for the mother and the father to be happy, plus the family. In my Garb Sanskar, I even do counseling of the entire family. Because for all you know, the mother-in-law is saying something, a mother is saying something. The individual is so confused during pregnancy. The doctor is saying something, the mother is saying something, mother-in-law is saying something. So there's total khichdi. So have faith and listen to your doctor. And then once the children grow up, 70 to 80% environment affects the child. So what kind of environment the child is in? A healthy, open, let your children go and play. It is so important. Open air, fresh air. You can play with them. If you feel they can't go out and play, these is what our parents doing to the children. The children goes to school, he comes back, again another bag, do the coaching. Once he comes back, he has to do his school homework, he has to do his coaching homework, and then some time pass on the mobile. And when he goes to bed, what will he retain? So we really need to give it a thought. It is happy mothers, happy children, happy family. Only when the next generation will be happy, our country will be good, our world will be good. So we need to sow the right kind of seed.
Well said, well said. So coming to the physical act.
And in pregnancy, all the women in the villages do all the work even today. That is also exercise. So there should be no doubt that we can't exercise.
When my wife was
sorry, now that Dr. Anita mentioned it, we have something called the Village Woman Asanas in the Art of Living Yoga workshop. You know?
And it's so interesting.
Yes,
you might as well do that instead of doing those asanas.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You know, just bringing a summary of all that we have spoken. You know, we will come back to the discussion, but just to summarize, parents play a pivotal role. Our role, I am a mother of 2 boys, and our role is not restricted to just providing what they want. It goes much more than that. And, you know, in our initial discussion, just when we were setting up this meeting, Dr. Mohit said that if you want to be happy, you must go get a BMW. I was like, what is BMW? And then he elaborated the Art of Living online breath and meditation workshop. Yes, doctor, I am just stealing that line from you and I'm going to use it. It is so, I mean, it is so vital. And I would like to ask Dr. Ravi also, what has his observation been on the effect of Sudarshan Kriya on the mind-body complex, on the nervous system, on the brain? And as well as, we have this amazing program called the Pregna Yoga for Children. It helps to develop intuitive abilities in children. People are amazed by the abilities children gain through this Pregna Yoga program. They are able to predict what is going to happen. They are able to say who is good, who is not, how to choose friends, how to choose their career in life. It's helping them in decision making, and it is also helping them to calm down. Yes, over to you, Dr. Ravi.
Yeah, first of all, we'll start with Sudarshana Kriya. And there are some research papers now available. And it shows that the Sudarshana Kriya, after Sudarshana Kriya, the blood levels of some neurotropic factors in the brain is increasing. And these factors will actually increases the cortical density of very important areas of the brain, like insular cortex, auditory cortex, and frontal cortex. So these is known as brain-derived growth factors. And these are all neuromodulators, and their level will be increased. So those who are having regular sadhana and kriya, it is found that the cortical thickness is maintained at the age of 50 years. And they compared the cortical thickness of the person who are regularly doing sadhana, and it is same as that of the people at the age of their 25 years. Usually the cortical thickness shrinks as age advances. Cortical thickness cortex will get shrunken. But even at the age of 50 years, they can maintain that same cortical thickness that was at the age of 25 years. And regarding the intuition is actually nothing new. And we all had intuitions. We had an intuitive mind and a logical mind. And when we were children, we used to play hide and seek. Okay. And we will have some intuition that the person is hiding there. But nowadays, nobody is going out. They are all playing with the laptops and iPads. So that intuition, the intuitive ability is gradually losing. And previously, we used to remember many phone numbers of our friends and families. Nowadays, I don't remember any other phone number other than mine. That's the situation has changed because the the facilities, we are using more computers and calculators and other modern gadgets. And this has resulted gradually we are losing our own ability. And intuition is actually a process that gives us the ability to know something directly without analytical memory. And actually, Einstein said once, and intuition is nothing but the outcome of earliest intellectual experience. And he said, intuition is the master and logic is the servant. And it is unfortunate that we are keeping our master aside and going behind the servant.
Wow. That's so well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, please continue.
The intuition, the Art of Living has started the intuition process quite recently for the last 2 years or so. And it is very, very dramatic outcome for the kids who regularly practicing this intuitive process. And they are smarter, they can have more attention, and their concentration is very good, and the learning capability is increased, and their confidence level is also very high. They are free of stresses. So those who are practicing intuition process, it's a very simple techniques. Guruji has given very simple techniques, some meditation, some simple processes, but regular practice of these intuition process make them a better person with a very good confidence and academically also they are very bright.
Yeah. Dr. Mohit sir wanted to say something.
Yeah. I just wanted to add preventive cardiological part, the most important part. So I want to discuss what exactly preventive cardiology is. There are 4 types or 4 parts in this session. Number 1 is primary prevention, secondary prevention, and then tertiary prevention. What exactly prevention is? What we are preventing? We are preventing the cardiac diseases before happening in a person. So primordial prevention is to prevent risk factor in the parents, or if a parents are having risk factor, like suppose husband and wife both are diabetics and both are having cardiac disease, the possibility of having a child with the same disease is much more higher than a normal person. So if both the parents are having risk factors and both the parents are having already disease and they are having a child and they want their child to be normal, what should they do? They should prevent the risk factors to be avoided in that kid. Like if father was earlier smoker, but now he has already quit the smoking, but he want that his child should be a normal person, then how is it possible? It is possible if you are knowing preventive cardiological part or primordial prevention, avoiding the risk factors to be happen in the kid or child. Primary prevention, if there are risk factors in the family but still they want a child to be healthy, what should they do? They should do yogic practices, or they should plan for the healthy lifestyle after preventing the risk factors. Then secondary prevention. What secondary prevention is? Now child has become already a patient, already having some sort of disease. Now you have to go to the hospital and you have to remove the disease and you have to admit the patient, you have to identify the pathology and you have to treat the patient. Now what is tertiary prevention? Now the person is already having disease, already admitted in hospital, and patient is almost not able to move at all. Then the part of asylums are meant for. So if we want our death very, in every session I used to ask everybody a question, how you want to die? 3 types are there. Number 1, yogic die, or better rogi, bhogi or yogi. 3 options you are having, how you want to die. A very simple question, but a very thinkable question. If you will remain this question in your mind and you will think about the whole day, you will definitely give the answer, I want to die like a yogi. I don't want to die like a rogi, because a cardiac surgeon always face so many deaths in their routine residentship, in their routine practice. Cardiac surgery and cardiology is direct, or neurosurgery. In fact, neurosurgery is also the branch which directly faces so many deaths in their life, in their residentship program. So one question I was having in my mind, and I always used to ask with my colleagues and with my juniors and seniors also, how you want to die. 3 options are there: rogi, bhogi or yogi. Everybody will give the answer, I want to die like a yogi. I don't want to die like a rogi or bhogi and so and so. Just I add on this, have you ever lived like a yogi? क्या आपने कभी योगी का जीवन जिया है जो आप योगी की भांति भरना चाहते हैं? The answer ends and the answer explains itself. So what my concern is, every patient or every person or every parent has planned first what their child are going to be. If they are going on a wrong track, it is your moral duty as well as it is your responsibility, not only your child. In fact, your child is having so many friends also. उसके दोस्त भी होंगे, उसके classmates. और संगत का प्रभाव, everybody knows. If it's having a good environment in the classroom or having good friends in the his circle or her circle, then definitely progress. If you are progressing, you are giving a good parenting, still your child is not having a good progress, you must identify the circle. What kind of circle he or she is having, उसके दोस्त कैसे हैं, identify करो, और उसके दोस्तों को भी उसी के जैसा practice में लेके आओ. So the effect of company is more important in the development of their child also.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
Absolutely.
just to put it in one sentence, before conception, take care of your stress. When you have conceived, meditate. And after you deliver the child, You do yoga, you meditate, do the Sudarshan Kriya, and teach the same to your child. And that give a good, happy child, a happy parent, give them a happy family and a happy society as well. I think this is very important for having a good health of the child. Just thinking of the physical aspect of the health is not going to help. We need to take care of the mental aspect. So, would any one of you please like to add a few closing comments?
I would just like to say one thing. Meditate is a date with yourself.
Wow.
And art of living is about transformation. It is not about information. Do the course. All the parents must do the course, and all the children must do the course. Sit and meditate together the way you sit and eat together.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so apt also, Dr. Anita. Thank you so much. In fact, right now at 12 o'clock, we have the live meditation with Pujya Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji. Please log on to the YouTube channel and or Facebook, and you can meditate live with Gurudev. And I think this has been an amazing session, and we have people asking for more of this session with Dr. Mohit, Dr. Anita, and Dr. Ravi, and of course our own Dr. Ashwin. All of you are our own. So thank you so much. I think we should have a part 2. Are you? I hope we get the doctors online for this discussion again. I am very grateful to all of you for throwing so much light on this topic. I think we will do a part 2. We will do it the coming Friday. In fact, we have a child psychologist, a physiotherapist, a nutritionist, all lined up. They're all very busy, but they've given us their time. So looking forward to connecting once more with Dr. Anita Chaudhary, Dr. Mohit Sharma, Dr. Ravi, and Dr. Ashwin Pandit soon. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. And as everybody said, do the Sudarshan Kriya. It is your doctor's prescription. Yeah, thank you very much. And let us end the note with Rohan Rajore. Yes.
एक नाम हमको मिल जाएंगे, फूल ही फूल राह में खिल जाएंगे। मैंने सोचा न था एक दिन जिंदगी इतनी होगी हंसी, झूमेगा आसमां, गाएगी ये ज़मीं। मैंने सोचा न था दिल की डाली पे कलियां सी खिलने लगी, जब निगाहों से मिलने लगी। एक दिन इस तरह होश खो जाएंगे, पास आए तो मदहोश हो जाएंगे। मैंने सोचा न था, मैंने सोचा न था।
Thank you so much, Rohan. That was so beautiful. Now let us all log in to Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji as he meditates with the world. We have 2 million people joining Gurudev on the live meditation. So I request all our audience and all our panelists to go live with Gurudev. Thank you very much.
Yes. Let's go and reduce our stress.
And gratitude. Thank you. So this was from the Art of Living, Children and Teens. We have our programs for children and teens. We have them online as well. Do register your children to increase their immunity level, to increase their energy levels, to increase their focus and concentration, and to give them happiness. Let children be with all their perfections, all their imperfections. Let us make them stronger. Let us build a strong society for our children. Equip your children with the knowledge of the mind, body, and spirit. Log on to our website to know more details of the Utkarsh Yoga program for children between 8 years and 13 years. and Medha Yoga program for children, teenagers between 13 years and 18 years. And definitely join the happiness program for parents as well. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. See you soon. Stay connected. Stay with us. Stay safe. Namaste.